Great, hello. We are beginning in Unit 3. This is lesson number 1, titled Angles and Triangles. What we're going to start doing in this unit is exploring angle relationships and triangles and using that information to help us solve algebra problems and real-world applications. For this unit, you need to know and remember your special angle relationships. So if you need to pause the video for a couple minutes, go back into your notes from Unit 2 and brush up on those, that would be helpful. All right, let's begin. So the main thing that you need to know in order to be successful in this unit is that when angles inside a triangle are added together, they form a total of 180 degrees. Okay, so you could say that the three angles together are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees always. Okay, that's what makes a triangle. Why? Well, there's two different ways that we can look to understand this concept. The first way would be by using parallel lines. All right, so what we can do is we can draw a parallel line to the base of the triangle. So it's this line right here. And then we can also look at the line down here. And we're telling you that those two are parallel. They will never cross each other. So we're going to use alternate interior angles to help us understand this. So as you can see right here, we have angle A in the triangle. And angle A is congruent to this angle A up here because they are alternate interior angles. If you notice, they are on opposite sides or alternate sides of this line right here. It can be our transversal. And as we remember, alternate interior angles are congruent. So these two are the same measure. Likewise, over here, we can do the same thing with angle B. Angle B is in our triangle. Angle B right here is the alternate interior angle, so they are congruent as well. All right, and then the last angle in our triangle is this guy right here, angle C. Okay, it's not alternate interior with anything, that doesn't really matter. But the whole point is to notice that angle A, B, and C all are connected right here and they form one big angle. And when you have angles, doesn't matter if it's 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, but when you have angles that are all directly next to each other and make a straight line right here, they are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. If you want to test this theory out at home, and which I highly recommend you do, get out a sheet of paper, make yourself a triangle, does not matter how big, make it, decent size to make this easier. And if you cut off the three angles, or 3 points, right, if you cut them off and line them up, so that they form a straight line, they should form a straight line. That's the whole purpose of it. Okay, so if you want to test that theory out on your own, you can. If you cut off the tips of the triangles and you put them all next to each other, the three angles next to each other, they will line up to make a line and show you that they are indeed 180 degrees. All right, so we need to keep that fact in mind for this entire lesson right here. All right, we're going to use it to help us solve problems. So look at example number 1. It says find the measure of angle CBA. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little X in CBA. Okay, CBA is right here, just so I know what angle I'm finding. Well, if I use the fact that all three angles together add up to 180, I can write myself a little equation. 92 plus my 53 right here, plus the X that I don't know, is equal to 180. All three add up to 180. Now I'm going to solve my equation. 92 plus 53, 145. Subtract 145 on both sides, so I get 35. Okay, so I can say the measure of angle CBA equals 35 degrees. So that is my math notation. M stands for measure. This little doodad is our angle. CBA is equal to 35, and don't forget your degree symbol. All right, take a second, pause the video, do the you try one on your own. All right, and take a look at the work right here. 51 plus 29 plus our missing angle is 180. I solved and I got 100. So the measure of angle ACB is equal to 100 degrees. Once again, if you got something incorrect, try and go back, pause the video, find your mistake. Maybe it's a simple adding issue. If you're still not sure, please bring that question to class. Okay, let's take a look at example number 2. Same thing, but we have to use other angle relationships that we know. So we're finding the measure of CAB. CAB. So this guy right here. Now, if you notice, I only have one angle measure on the inside. Okay, the other angle measure is out here. but I can use one of my special angle relationships to help me out. This angle and this angle are what? Vertical angles. Vertical angles measures are congruent. So this one's 114. So now I have 2 out of the 3, so I can write my equation. So I get 126 plus x equals 180. Therefore, x equals 54. All right, so the measure of CAB equals 54 degrees. Now, I just want to pause for 1 second. Keep in mind, as I'm writing this, if my writing is faster than you're going, pause the video, jot it down, play it again. That's the beauty of doing this at home. You can pause, stop, start at your own pace. All right, on to the next page. Give you a chance to try it out. All right, so do pause the video, try the you try to on your own, and when you're ready, you can go ahead and press play again. Okay, so once again, we had to find a missing angle measure. Now, this one wasn't vertical angles. What we noticed was, if you notice this, these two right here are next to each other on a straight line. So therefore, those two angles are supplementary. All right, if I use vertical angles here, I would have gotten 76 for this guy, but that's not going to help me. I still need to figure out what's inside the triangle. I need to find this missing angle. So I can use supplementary to help me there. So I got 104 for that angle. So I added them up, 104 plus 35 plus my missing guy. Did the math, 41. All right, in example number 3, same type of stuff, but if you notice we have variables in it now. It's not just numbers. Well, we know this, guys. Add up all 3 angles to equal 180. Literally added up all 3 angles, they're equal to 180. Now I do my math. Adding my variables. Adding my numbers. Well, I notice that 8 plus 1 is 9, minus 9 is 0, so those cancel each other out. If I divide both sides by 10, I get 18 as my answer. Good. All right, but going back to the directions, it also says find the measure of each angle, so make sure you're always reading. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to plug 18 in for each angle one at a time. All right, so for 3x plus 8, I get 62. For 3x minus 9, I get 45. And for 4x plus 1, I get 73. Now, guys, we can do a super quick check to make sure that we did our math right. Add up these 3 numbers. What should they equal? Yep, 180. So do a quick check on your calculator, and if they don't add up to 180, something went wrong, probably in your solving, so go back and find your mistake. Okay, these add up to 180, so I am good to go. All right, go ahead and pause the video and do the you try on your own. Okay, take a look. What I had to notice here was, I hope this little 90-degree symbol didn't trip you up and you thought that maybe there was an angle measure there. Nope, whenever I see that, I know it's 90. So I had to know that one was 90. So in my equation, I have the 8x minus 1 plus my 4x plus 7 plus my 90 is equal to 180 degrees. All right, I solved x equals 7. When I went and plugged it back in, I didn't have to plug anything in over here because I already knew that one. All right, now quick check, 35 plus 55 plus 90 is 180. I'm good to go. All right. So now we know that all 3 of the interior angles add up to 180 degrees. We are also going to talk about a relationship between 2 of the inside angles and an outside angle. All right, so let's take a look here. We're talking about 3 different angles. Angle B, which is called a remote interior angle. I'll explain what that means in 1 second. Angle A, which is a remote interior angle. And then over here we have an exterior angle. Remember, exterior means outside, interior means inside. Okay, what we mean by remote is these 2 angles are not directly next to this exterior guy. It is not this angle right here. Okay, that would not be a remote interior angle. Remote means basically the other 2, the 2 that are not directly next to the outside angle. Okay, so what is so special about these right here? Well, let me tell you. Let's take a look at this diagram. Right here, this outside angle is 150 degrees. Angle A is 59, B is 91. Do you notice anything? If you notice that angle A plus the measure of angle B equaled the measure of angle C, you are correct. Okay, so what we know is this. This is always true. The sum of the two remote interior angles always is equal to the exterior angle. Always. Okay, so let's write that down. The sum of the measures of the two remote interior angles, meaning the ones not connected, the ones that are not on a straight line or supplementary, is equal to the measure of the exterior angle. All right, so once again, the two remote interior angles, the two angles that are not connected, they do not form the straight line right here. So the other two angles add up to the same measure as that outside angle. Okay, and if you think about it, it makes sense. Because this angle right here, this guy, plus this guy have to equal 180, right? Well, this guy plus, sorry about that pause. All right, so these two together equal 180. Okay, well, we know that these three together equal 180. So therefore, if we replace this guy, these two have to equal 180. All right, if you think about it, it does make sense. The two outside one or remote interiors equal the outside one. All right, so we can use this information to do problems. Not only do we know that all three insides equal 180, we also know that we can use the outside and the insides to help us. So take a look here. We know the measure of angle B, and we know the measure of this outside guy right here. That's 135. Oops. Okay, so there's two different ways we can attack this method. The first way is what we've always known. So we're finding BAC, use the inside angles to help us. So what we could do, method number one, is we could find this right here, this angle. Okay, how? Well, 180 minus 135. All right, because these two are supplementary. So that gives me 45. So now I could use what I know about the inside angles. All of them add up to 180. So I could do 89 plus 45 plus x equals 180. All right, I do my math and I get x equal 46. And when I add them up, 46, 45, 89, it checks. Okay, so I can do that. It's a little extra work though, but there's nothing wrong with that. What I could also do is this new concept. I know that these two angles add up to this angle right here. I don't even need to bother with this guy. It didn't ask me to. Okay, so what I could do is I could just say 89 plus x equals 135. I don't even have to figure out that other missing angle. Okay, if I know that the two remote interior angles add up to the outside one, I can use that information. So I subtract and I get 46. All right, so either method works. If you know this concept, though, this way is a little quicker. Okay. All right, go ahead, pause the video, try this one on your own. You're finding ACB, this angle right here. Try using the new method, using your remote interior angles. All right, and you should have gotten 68 degrees. Okay, because 37 plus this missing guy is equal to the 105. All right, so same thing. Let's do this, but using variables. All right, this outside angle adds up to these two right in here. So we'll set up our equation. These two are equal to the outside one. So I have 6x plus 11 plus 2x plus 7 equals 10x minus 50. Okay, do your math. 6x plus 2x, 11 plus 7 is equal to 10x minus 50. Sorry about that pause. All right, subtract 8x on both sides. I get 2x over here. Add 50 to both sides, I get 68 equals 2x. Oops, did anyone notice my mistake? Sorry about that, guys. If I go back here, I made a mistake. That should be a minus sign. So let's erase that. I apologize. Let's start over. Hopefully you caught that on your own and said, what is she doing? Okay, redo. Sorry, that should have been a minus sign. Okay, 6x plus 2x is 8x. 11 minus 7 is 4. That looks better. Subtract 8x on both sides, I get 2x over here. Add 50 to both sides, so therefore x equals 27. All right, disclaimer on this one, the numbers are too big. It's not, well, you'll see what I mean in a second. All right, so go back and find the measure of each angle. So plug in 27, and when I do that math, I actually get 173, which should be suspicious because it's such a big angle measure. When I get over here, I do my math, I get 47. So instantly you'll see that those two add up bigger than 180, which we know is not possible for a triangle. You didn't do anything wrong, it was just bad numbers in the example, but you get the point of what we're doing. These two together should add up to this outside guy though, all right? If they don't, then you should know you did something wrong. If they do, it was just a bad problem. All right, so I do this math. It ends up being 220, which when I add those two together is 220 as well, so you know you did it right. All right, so I set up the inside 2 to add to the outside 2. All right, please pause the video. Go ahead and do the you try on your own. Okay, take a look here. So I added them up. 8x plus 4 plus 5x plus 2 is equal to 15x minus 18. I did my math. I got x to equal 12. All right, when I plugged it in, I got my numbers. 100 plus 62 is 162, and then that's what I got on the outside also. Okay, so big things for today. Sum of all three interior angles is 180. The sum of the two remote interior angles is equal to the exterior angle. Okay, we're going to finish up with a couple last very small things, nothing too crazy back here, just using all the concepts we've known. So take a look at example number 6. We have a few missing angle measures. We need to find the measure of angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. Okay, now where to start? Well, if you notice in this first triangle, I have 2 out of the 3 angle measures. In this other triangle, I only have 1. Okay, so start with what you know. Right over here, I've got 2 of them, so I can easily find this guy. All 3 of these add up to 180. Well, 90 plus 58 is 148. If I subtract that from 180, I get this guy to be 32. Okay, 32 plus 58 plus 90 is 180. Well, if I know my vertical angles, I know that measure of angle 1 and 2 are the same because they are verticals. Verticals are congruent. So this one has to be 32 as well. Well, now I can find angle 3, okay, because I can add up 32 plus 108, which gives me 140. Okay, so these two together are 140. And if I subtract that from 180, I get angle 3 to be 40 degrees. Okay, so it's just using everything we've known to reason your way through it. Start where you have the most information. All right, I'm going to have you pause on the you tries for just a minute. I'm going to show you example number 7. All right, same thing. Use what you know. More angles are missing this time. Okay, there's a lot more to do. There's more than one way or more than one correct place to start. I see a linear pair right here, so I'm going to start there. This one's 105. That one must be 180 minus that, so it has to be 75 degrees. Okay, so angle 4 is 75 degrees. Okay, I'm going to erase that so I can write it in there. 75. Okay, well, angle 5 now. Angle 5. These two together add up to 115. So that means that angle 5, sorry, why did I write that there? Blah. These two together add up to 115, so that means angle 5 has to be 115. Okay, using the 2 remote interior angles add up to the exterior angle. All right, 2 down, a couple more to go. All right, come over here. What can we do? Well, these two together add to 140, 80 plus 60. 180 minus 140 is equal to 40 degrees. If that's 40, this one has to be 140. All right, also knowing that these two add together to 140, so therefore instantly that has to be 140. Using supplementary, 180 minus 140 gives me 40 for here. Okay, so there's not a lot of things I need to write down. I'm just using my reasoning skills and my math skills. All right, to get angle 3, I don't know anything too special yet. Okay, one thing I do know, I can't use this as an exterior angle because it's not remote interior. I could use this guy. All right, or think about it this way. This guy right here, I could use him. If he's 105, these are my other two interior angles. So therefore, this one has to be 105 minus 40, being 65 degrees. All right, so there's multiple ways. I also could have used the sum of interior angles, all the relationships. So here's what you need to do now. The video is going to end. There are 3 examples and you tries that I'm not going to show you yet. I want you to take some time and try to reason your way through them, and we will go over them in class. I need to see that you've attempted them on your homework. Don't come in with blank papers. Use what you know. Use vertical angles, use supplementary, use the sum of interior angles, use 2 interior angles and an exterior angle. You try 6, you try 7, and you try 8 on your own, and we will go over them in class.